dealers will have to keep up and find ways to accommodate buyers less willing to go through the rigmarole they have endured in the past.
There has never been a time in Toyota's history when inventory levels have been lower than they are right now. Take a trip to the Toyota dealer in your neighbourhood and you will be surprised how low the brand new vehicles inventory is. Even on car dealership websites, we have seen a decrease in the number of listings for Toyota vehicles. Toyota has been struggling with production issues for most of 2023, and their dealerships currently have a supply that will last them for less than 60 days. To say that Toyota is facing significant production issues would be an understatement. But what's the problem, and how are the dealerships dealing with this? The world's leading automobile manufacturer has unofficially fallen behind, although in 2021 and 2022 they were able to weather the initial chip scarcity better than their competitors. Toyota is having trouble supplying their dealerships with inventory, which has led to a 23% decrease in sales for the first quarter of their fiscal year. Even the average car price has reached an all-time high of $37,336. It is easy to forget how far the automotive sector has fallen compared to the standards that existed before the pandemic. In July, automakers had a supply of on-hand and in-transit new automobiles equal to 52 days worth of demand. In light of recent events, that might not seem like such a big deal, but we might actually run out of options in a few months. This week, Toyota Motor North America Executive Vice President of Sales Jack Hollis let the cat out of the bag by discussing the company's forecast for the upcoming quarter and what they anticipate will happen. In a nutshell, Toyota does not anticipate that inventory will ever return to levels that existed before the pandemic. Despite being a little cautious about the topic, Hollis was able to share some critical insights into what automobile consumers should expect going forward into the final part of the year. During an event put on by the Automotive Press Association, Jack Hollis, who has a long history of working with Ford's Jim Farley, expressed his opinion in an open and honest manner. In exchange for what could have very well been a boring interview with pre-written responses, the public heard stunning new insights about how severe the inventory shortfall has sometimes become for Toyota. According to Hollis, the demand for Toyota continues to exceed the capacity of manufacturers' production facilities. He also said Toyota dealerships currently have only a 60-day supply of new vehicles available for purchase. As a result, dealer markups, accessories, and add-ons have ballooned to extremely high levels. If a customer wishes to buy a brand new Toyota off the lot of a dealer, they will most certainly spend more than the manufacturer's suggested retail price. The length of time required to place an order for a new Toyota vehicle can exceed 1 year. Wait times for hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles manufactured by Toyota typically hover around 1 year. Wait periods for the Toyota RAV4 Prime and the Toyota Prius Prime have now reached an average of 18 months to a maximum of 2 years. If you are interested in purchasing a Toyota plug-in hybrid, you should start practicing patience. But why has Toyota encountered such a significant amount of difficulty when other automobile manufacturers appear to be weathering the storm better? It appears that Toyota's domestic production facility in Japan is where the corporation has suffered the most loss as a result of the recent events. Although Japan has experienced its fair share of difficulties, COVID and an earthquake to mention a couple, the whole Japanese automotive sector is intricately connected to the plants and suppliers located in China. Toyota is extremely reliant on Chinese component suppliers, and the most recent round of weather shutdowns did not help the Japanese automaker in any way. According to a report that came out recently, Toyota's main domestic competitor is trying to find a method to reduce its dependency on China's supply chains. Honda Motor Company is reportedly searching for other ways to reduce its reliance on China. Last year, China accounted for close to 40% of Honda's total production capacity, but Honda is currently working on ways to reduce that. Because the most recent heat wave has resulted in the third significant supply disruption for Toyota in the past 2 years, we can guarantee that the company is evaluating its alternatives for moving forward. Even the highly regarded analysts seem to have overestimated how severe and protracted the chip scarcity and the subsequent car shortage will be during the first half of 2023. Now, a top official at Toyota has predicted that the company will be in an equally precarious position in 2024 if they do not come up with solutions fast. There is one particular theory that dealers are using to mask their shortcomings, and that is about the shifting behavior patterns among those who buy cars. Dealers suggest that consumers now have confidence in purchasing automobiles online, which will affect lot inventories moving forward. So, a dealer doesn't need to keep goods on hand to generate money. They also say the sustained high pricing at dealerships is partially the result of the general public's actions. Consumers don't appear to mind foregoing the discounts and manufacturer incentives that were common in previous years. And right now, we're seeing some of the highest customer satisfaction scores in the entire industry, and everyone's buying a vehicle at the manufacturer's suggested retail price. And because of the limited availability, Toyota has significantly lowered the amount of money it gives away to customers as an incentive. Since 2017, this is the first time Toyota's rebates have been lower than $1,000. Toyota's average incentive per vehicle from January to July was $772, a considerable decrease. Sometimes the incentives were considerably less, coming in at just $672 per vehicle. The average amount of a Lexus incentive was $1,474 per vehicle, which is 71% less than before. Incentives offered by Lexus were, on average, more than $5,000 per vehicle throughout 2019 to 2021. This indicates that purchasers are likely to pay the manufacturer's suggested retail price or higher. Every new vehicle that comes off the production line at Toyota dealerships is quickly sold to satisfied customers. Simply said, there is no reason to provide a buying incentive. During the first 6 months of the current year, the average price for a Toyota vehicle was close to $40,000. When we look back just 2 years, this number was below $35,000. During his speech at the event hosted by the Automotive Press Association, Hollis also discussed the long-term prospects for Toyota's delayed entry into the fully electric vehicle market. Hollis reaffirmed Toyota's conviction that providing a diverse selection of electric vehicles rather than focusing solely on battery electric vehicles, BEVs, is the most effective strategy to lower overall carbon emissions. He is completely unconvinced that drivers in the United States will adopt electric vehicles at anything close to the rate that the government goals have predicted. I believe Hollis is onto something here, especially when one considers the fact that the average price for an electric vehicle is $10,000 higher than the average transaction price for the entire industry. If you take into account things like a lack of inventories, inadequate charging infrastructure, a scarcity of batteries and raw materials, and so on, Toyota's strategy starts to look a lot more astute. Several of Toyota's competitors are doing far worse when compared to Toyota when it comes to the availability of new car inventory for the last few months. Although it has been widely believed that Honda is Toyota's most direct competitor when it comes to small cars, the Japanese automaker is having more trouble getting new vehicles to the market. Kia, a brand that has been striving to improve its reputation in recent years, is currently in second place after Toyota. Also, Nissan maintains a relatively healthy new car inventory, even though the company's market share in the United States has declined in recent years. Remember that 60 days worth of new vehicles indicates a struggling firm, a recession, or a global catastrophe. The automobile market is said to be in huge trouble the more away the inventories stray from that target. The Venza and the Prius come in only a hair lower than the 60-day metric, while almost every other model comes a hair higher. The newly remodeled Prius is not selling at the rate that most people had anticipated it would. It is surprisingly open to negotiation at this time because there is a 73-day supply of Priuses available. The all-new Grand Highlander and the 4Runner also have a somewhat higher inventory at 67 days. Even with a supply greater than 3 months' worth, Toyota's new darling, the revived Crown, is selling even more slowly. Consumers may not be as interested in buying sedans priced at $50,000 as Toyota had anticipated. The BZ4X electric SUV comes first on the list with a supply that will last 136 days. We are not shocked because there is no federal tax credit and competitors with comparable prices have better equipment. That's all from this video. What do you think is happening to Toyota? See you in the next one.